We live in a time where this feels natural. We label it self-care, me time, downtime, but what happens when most of our time is spent this way? What is so unavoidably horrifying that we must bury ourselves in entertainment? Let's talk about it. The idea of escaping reality came about in the 1930s. Industrialization made work more efficient, which allowed people to have more free time. And with extra leisure time, at this point in history, it was largely unheard of. Then the domino effect occurred. People had more time, more money, and because of the need for entertainment, the pop culture industry grew. Escapism became the byproduct of extra leisure time, the growth in the entertainment industry, and the carnage of the Great Depression all occurring simultaneously. So then, is escapism bad? As with anything, when taken too far or used incorrectly, it can have negative effects on your life. But if used properly, escapism can be a great tool to help cope with external circumstances happening in your life. An example of this are the people from the 1930s. Their world was in shambles around them, while also being in a state of massive transition. Yet instead of being deterred by the carnage around them, they found solace in music, movies, radio, books, etc., which is arguably one of the most important tools that kept them going during that time. The problem with escapism occurs when a person avoids reality, when they choose not to do the daily work, the routinely work that needs to get done every day, and chooses fantasy or entertainment or pleasure or shopping or something to fill the space instead of do what reality requires of them. It's the transition point where reality becomes less valuable than fantasy does, or entertainment or pleasure does. And so instead of choosing to continue operating in reality, they will transition to operating mostly in fantasy. Escapist entertainment's essential purpose is to draw us away from our everyday troubles, and sometimes to help us to fantasize ourselves as better, more important, and better off than we really are. Indulgence in such entertainment helps us avoid unpleasant reality that gives us the terms escapist and escapism. Sometimes we speak of a more serious escapism, in which we avoid thinking about what we know to be so, not in the course of recreation or to keep unpleasant thoughts out of mind, but as a defense against reality itself. John Longway. Longway takes his description of serious escapism to the next level when he introduces a diabetic, who is negligent in sticking to their diet and refuses to take insulin regularly. If we are going to go by this description of escapism, I would find myself similarly guilty. As a person with lactose intolerance, I have also made my fair share of poor decisions that have led to traumatic bathroom experiences. My example is tragically comical. But Longway calls this behavior neurotic and irrational, and honestly it is. It's a form of self-sabotage. For example, because I'm lactose intolerant, if I choose to eat dairy, my body pays the consequences. If a diabetic refuses to take their insulin or refuses to stick to a proper diet, then their body will pay the consequences. If a person chooses to watch a movie or play a game instead of do their work that's due, then they will be stressed and they will pay the consequences, either by grade or by anxiety levels being raised. We all choose the consequences based off of our actions, which could be neurotic or irrational. But how bad is it really if I eat some cheese? Or procrastinate work by watching Netflix? Let's be real. If any of those actions were one-time occurrences or happened occasionally, there wouldn't be a problem. The problem lies in the intentions behind the actions. It's the belief that reality is less important than fantasy, and the problem lies when a person stops doing the daily work required to live in reality, to progress and develop as a human being, and choose to live in fantasy, entertainment, pleasure, shopping, whatever it is that we're using to escape from our life in reality. That's the problem. When we choose not to live in reality and choose to escape into entertainment. Dreamers, self-improvers, level uppers, entrepreneurs, listen. Reality must be better to you than the appeal of fantasy if you want to see the beauty of your dreams, goals, projects, businesses, and communities come to fruition. So check yourself. Where do you land on the scale of escapism? Do you use it to cope with your life? You're living, working, interacting with people, and fully involved with reality? Then good job. Go for it. Use escapism. It's a great coping mechanism. Well done. Chariso. So proud. But if you have a gut check and you know that maybe you don't live in reality as much as you should, and that you've been running the heck away from reality because it's too stressful, or it brings up anxiety or causes you depression, all these big emotions, then do whatever the heck you want. I'm not here to tell you any other way, but I am going to let you know the things that you do in your daily life build to what your future will look like. It is the trajectory. The things we do every day sets the trajectory for our future. So take a look at your life. What are the things that you do every day? Because you're building something. You're building to something. You're building yourself up to something. And if all of your skills are being built in fantasy, entertainment, non-reality things, then in the future, you can visualize yourself today, just a more enhanced version of yourself today. Somebody that maybe is an expert video game player, but not getting paid for it. or a great shopper, or a great movie watcher. If the habits set the course for our future, then look at your habits and you can read your future. If you want to change and you want to course correct, totally possible. Is it easy? Heck no, it's not easy. But you can do it. Change the daily habits of your life to reflect the future that you want, and you'll get there. Now, we'll talk about this more in my channel. My name is Carissa, and I want to talk about a lot of things with you guys. So, welcome to my channel.